Thanks to HubSpot for sponsoring this video. So naturally, a lot of people think that to get a high income job, you need to go to university. Now, there is nothing wrong with going to university. I think if you're doing something that requires a university degree, then of course you have to go to university, like it makes a lot of sense. But I also like to make the case that you can make money without having to go to university. And I'm the prime example of it. I'm someone who has not gone to university, who has not gone to college, and I've been able to build income streams, I've been able to build businesses that can make me serious money, more money than most 9-to-5 jobs. I feel like we're also very lucky where we live in this digital age where you can make a business just by sitting behind your computer. It blows my mind, and it's exactly the type of businesses I've built. So in this video, I wanted to share some business ideas that you can start that are actual proper businesses. They don't have to just be side hustles that make a little bit of money. They can be grown into fully fledged businesses. The other great thing about the businesses that I'm going to be covering is that they don't require a ton of money to get started. You can usually get started with what you already have, and they also provide a lot of flexibility and freedom, which is important to me. The whole idea, the whole point of me starting online businesses and doing online businesses is so that I have freedom. So number one is of course content creation. So I have turned content creation into a full-time business. A lot of you that are watching this channel may not already know that I actually have another YouTube channel. I have a tech YouTube channel. I also make content for Instagram and TikTok. I make content for all sorts, and I've been making content for over 10 years now. Content creation for me has unlocked so many different opportunities. And now with the position that I'm in, I run a couple of YouTube channels. I'm starting new YouTube channels. I have Instagram, I have TikTok. I'm making content for brands. There's just so many different ways that content creation has helped me make a lot of money. I think the best thing about content creation is that you can turn things that you already love doing into content. It is very easy to get started. Now, of course, it's not easy to grow. But I think with the way the internet is right now, you can make content really about anything. You can find niches everywhere. If you love doing something, if you love sharing something, there will be other people out there who also love that same thing. For me, it was tech, it was gadgets, it was design, sort of those things mixed together, especially product design and things like that. All of that mixed together, that's what I loved. And that's what I made a YouTube channel about. And it's growing really well. It's doing incredibly well. It's making an incredible amount of money for me. And it's just been such a great way for me to turn something that I love into a business. The other great thing about content creation and social media is that it's not just about you. Like, I think a lot of people fall into the trap of thinking that they have to make content where they're in it, where they're doing the voiceovers, where their faces on camera and stuff like that. Not at all. You can really do all sorts of stuff. You don't even have to do content creation for yourself. You can do it for other businesses as well. If you are interested in social media trends, HubSpot have put together a social media trends report and expert panel. If you want to follow in my footsteps of making a business out of content creation, one thing I would highly recommend is just keeping up with social media trends and seeing what's trending. Of course, the one issue is, how do we know what's actually trending? Because things are moving very, very fast in the social media world. But I have just the right resource here to help stay on top of this year's trends, HubSpot Social Media Trends Report. It's an ebook that covers a wide range of social media trends, including community building, social commerce, influencer marketing, content creation, AI, and platform-specific strategies. There's a whopping 40 pages of insanely valuable information in this ebook. It's a vital resource for anyone who wants to take social media seriously. It covers important metrics, goals, and challenges faced by social media marketers, providing benchmarks and insights to measure success. Understanding user behavior trends highlighted in the report enables tailored content strategies, ensuring content resonates with audiences and drives meaningful engagement. By anticipating future trends and staying informed about competitor strategies, those who take social media seriously can maintain relevance, optimize advertising campaigns, and can stay ahead in the landscape of social media marketing. Content creation for me has been the biggest driver for my business. It's how I've been able to give myself the freedom to grow my business. This ebook does a great job of demonstrating that content creation can be a huge driver of new customers and revenue for pretty much any type of business. So make sure to check it out. It's completely free to download. Next up is short form content and repurposing. So if you have any sort of skill when it comes to video editing, which I think is actually fairly easy to pick up, this is such a great business. This is such an easy way to make some money. But growing a business like this for a lot of people can be quite difficult, and it's because they go about it in the wrong way. What I've noticed is that a lot of editors that are making shorts don't really have a style, and they're also not really seeing what's trending on the social media sort of landscape, you could say. They're not seeing what other types of clips people actually want to see. So I found a lot of these short form editors, they're just trying to make as many clips as possible just to get the job done. However, if you want to make big money, proper money when it comes to making short form content, editing short form content for businesses, for creators, whatever it might be, it's all about coming up with clips that will either go viral or can actually make money for the end client. A lot of people don't seem to really be focusing on that. Like I said, they're just trying to make as many clips as possible. But if you can prove that your clips are either going viral or they're bringing in conversions, you can charge a lot more money. I would happily pay for a short form editor who I know can regularly get me hundreds of thousands of views or millions of views, or who can sort of figure out what's trending, what's not trending, look at my videos and stuff, see where they could see a clip maybe potentially going viral, or maybe for other parts of my business so that it helps drive revenue. If they can prove all those sorts of things, I'm happy to pay them big money. Like, they're obviously being able to deliver the results. I want to be able to reward them for those results. And I know there are short form editors out there who are making well over 5 figures a month. They have a few clients. They don't even have that many clients, maybe 3 or 4 clients, but they're regularly churning out good quality repurposed videos that are doing well for their clients. That's the most important thing. Instead of just trying to figure out, I'm going to make 10 clips for like $1,000. No. I think it's actually better to make sure that the clips you're making are actually going to do well. Another thing that I've noticed when it comes to short form content is that a lot of people try to overdo the sort of flashy edits, try to do the crazy captions, the sound effects and things like that. But some of the most viral clips that I've seen online don't have any flashy editing at all. The person has just found a clip from a video or from a podcast or something like that, which they know will go viral. They've gone through the effort of figuring out what can work on places like Instagram and TikTok. Tutoring. So this is a perfect one for anyone who is also a student, because I've always said that the best person to teach another person is another person who is also learning that same thing, but only a few steps ahead. I found that people who are already very, very knowledgeable in a subject aren't actually great teachers, because they're already way too far ahead. Maybe they learned the basics of something years ago, decades ago, and now teaching someone who is completely new to the subject can actually be very, very difficult, because they're thinking years ahead, whilst this new beginner, this person who's just starting to learn the subject, is trying to just learn the fundamentals and the basics. So it can be quite hard for those two people to really learn from each other. The best person to learn from is someone who's just a few steps ahead of you. And the great thing about something like this is that you don't need to be an expert. Like, you don't need to know everything about a certain subject to teach it. And I think that's why tutoring is actually such a great way to make money, because a lot of people fall into the trap of thinking that they need to be an expert in a subject, that they need to know everything about this certain subject to teach it to someone else. And yeah, it just really isn't the case. So if you're someone who's also a beginner, who wants to make some money, who wants to be able to, you could make a lot of money doing this, you're in the perfect position to also teach someone else. The great thing about this is that if you are someone who happens to be at university and you're watching this video, you can be someone who's teaching multiple people. So you could have your own class, you can teach multiple students, multiple people at the same time, and you can charge them all the same rate, really sort of maximizing your income, scaling your income. This is such a great way to scale your income, having lots of people that you can teach at the same time. And then if you want to take it up a notch, you want to take it to the next level, you can make courses. Digital courses especially are such great businesses. I know so many people who have digital courses that are teaching stuff online. They've put a curriculum together and they're making absolute bank, because it's such a scalable business. You're not necessarily limited to a number of students in a class. You can really just sell it to as many people as you like. I have my own course, videocreatorcourse.com, and it makes great money. I sort of just have it sitting in the background. It's all about how to make high quality videos, not necessarily for YouTube, but just making high quality videos in general. And yeah, the great thing about it is that it sort of just makes me money passively in the background. But there are creators out there who have turned courses into fully fledged businesses that are just making millions. Like, making millions is absolutely insane, because people are willing to pay for knowledge. That's the most valuable thing about courses. If you can teach something that's valuable to other people, where they can use it to maybe make their life better, maybe make relationships, love, whatever might be better, make them money, sort of those three things: happiness, love, money. If you can teach something that takes advantage of one of those three things, you can make a lot of money. I found with courses, the people who are looking to buy courses, that are looking to learn stuff from courses, they're looking for the minute details. They're looking for the finer details in things, because they want to see how other people are doing it. They want to see systems and processes in place that has worked for someone else. And they want to see if they can apply the same systems and processes to their own sort of way of life, their own way of doing things. Gym workouts are a perfect example of this. If you see someone who you think, wow, they look incredible, you might also be interested in, how can I look like that? So if that person had a course, if they shared their gym routine, you're obviously going to look at it and you're going to think, okay, let's see what they're doing. And maybe I'm missing out on something. Maybe I'm not doing something right, because clearly they're doing something right that I'm not doing right now. Social media management. So this is one I've covered on the channel before, but there are so many businesses out there, especially businesses run by older people, who you could say, who just have no clue about social media. They don't know anything about Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or any of these sorts of platforms. They don't know what it takes to make content. They don't know how to publish content. They don't know what type of content to make. And it's not just older people. There are also people, young people, who don't really have any idea of social media. These businesses, these sorts of people, they are usually willing to pay someone else to do it for them. And that's the whole point. If you can take the pain away from someone else and also make their lives better, make them more money, you can charge big money for social media management. The great thing about this business is that it is somewhat scalable. So if you have systems and processes in place, there's no reason why you couldn't have 3, 4, 5 businesses where you're charging maybe anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 a month, maybe even $10,000 a month, depending on how much you're doing for them. You can also hire other people to come in and help you with those things. It's such a great way to build a business that can make quite a lot of money quite quickly. If you're someone who's social media savvy, I think it makes a lot of sense. One angle that I would take with this, which is what I mentioned earlier on in the video, if you can show a client or a business, whoever you're selling your skills to, that you're either bringing in views or you're making them money, they're going to be more than willing to pay for your services. Next up, we have UI, UX design, and website creation. So well before I started doing YouTube and started making money from YouTube, my main source of income was UI, UX design, and making websites for clients. And let me tell you, I made a lot of money doing that. It was just one of the best things that I'd ever did. It was one of the best skills that I ever learned. I made a lot of money very, very quickly. A few years into my career, I was charging $500 to $1,000 a day for my services, depending on the client, depending on the business, depending on what they needed. And I remember thinking at the time, like, holy moly, I can't believe I'm charging $1,000 a day for my time. Obviously, I'm selling my time, but still, it's $1,000. Like, I was in my early 20s, mid 20s, and I was thinking to myself, this is outrageous, like $1,000 a day. I did have some imposter syndrome back then, so I was thinking to myself, I can't believe I'm charging $1,000 a day. But now when I think back, the reason why I was charging $1,000 a day was because those sorts of skills just wasn't that common. Not a lot of people had those skills. Not a lot of people had the style that I had when it comes to UI, UX design and making websites. And that's the one thing I realized from nearly all of the clients that hired me. They were looking for my specific style. And that's what's so important about UI, UX design and website creation. Having a style that's pretty unique, but also very refined and can deliver results. The other thing is, most people just aren't that technical. They don't want to be messing around, spending time learning how to use Figma, which is what I use to design, and using things like Framer, or learning how to code to make websites. Just like with social media management, most businesses, they don't want to be focusing on making a website. They don't want to be running a website, nothing like that. They would much rather pay someone else to do it. And the great thing about websites is that we know they make money. Like, they're a good face for a business, whether it's like a restaurant, whether it's an e-commerce store, whatever it might be. We know it's a way for people to look for that business online and for that business to make money. And you could even take it a step further. You could go to the business and be like, look, I will make your website for free. However, any clients I get for you, any customers I get for you through the website, I take a cut. Maybe it's 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever it might be. That's such a good way to make a lot of money. This is also a very scalable business, because once you've made a website, you could just charge a retainer fee. You can also hire other people to come in to manage websites, to make websites with you, to make websites for your clients. It's just a very scalable business. And there are so many companies, so many agencies out there that we already know are making millions doing this. Another thing that's become very popular is just charging businesses on a monthly basis, a retainer essentially. And Daryl, a designer who shares his work on Twitter, he runs a design agency called Endless.design, where he charges $8,000 a month. And he's doing incredibly well from the info he's sharing on Twitter. And it's a simple retainer package that gives you basically one design lead, one senior designer, 5 days a week, one request at a time. You get an unlimited amount of design work in that time, dedicated Slack channel, unlimited revisions, and 48-hour delivery. And he's charging $8,000 a month. And you can see he only has one spot left already. So people are clearly paying for this, and he's making a lot of money. And like I said, if you have other people in the business, you can have more and more spots. You can have more availability for clients. This is a fantastic way to make money. And like I said, it's how I used to make money before I made YouTube videos, and I made a lot of money doing it. I made a couple of million doing this sort of thing. That's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As you can see, I am in a new setup. I have a completely new setup. This is in my new office in Dubai. I still have a few things that I need to set up. I still have a few things that I need to sort out, like my microphone. I'm using this lavalier mic, or sort of DJI mic instead of my podcast mic. I miss my podcast mic. I need it to come. I'm sort of just waiting for things to set up. I'm shipping a lot of things from the UK to Dubai, so I'm waiting for things to arrive. So yeah, things will go back to normal. The high quality audio will go back to normal. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, where I'll be sharing a lot more updates, and subscribe for more.